Okay, we now want to create a pyramid and a prism using GeoGebra Classic, and then we want to see the nets of the pyramid and the prism. So first of all, let's see how we can be able to create a pyramid. So this is the window for GeoGebra Classic. So in order to create the solid, I need to create another 3D window, 3D graphics window. So in order to create that one, I will have to come to this side of the screen and I'll click on this one. And then I get this little menu here. So I click on this one and it gives me this dialog box. And I'll come down to which is 3D graphics. So I'll click on that one and then it gives me this 3D graphics window on my right hand side, and on the left hand side is the GeoGebra Classic window. So I will have to use both windows to be able to create the pyramid. But first of all, I'd like to drag this one a little bit in so that the two windows can be in line. And now I go to the top of the screen, the tool menu, and I go to this menu here. I click on it and it gives me this dialog box that has the different polygons. So first of all, I want to create the square-based pyramid. That is why I will have to click this polygon and then I will drag the mouse into the GeoGebra Classic window, and then I'll start to plot my points. Point number 1 or A, point B, point C, D, and I am enclosing the points, so it gives me a square. So this square is automatically drawn on the 3D graphics as well. So as soon as I draw the square, which is going to be the base of my my pyramid, square-based pyramid. So now I would want to actually create the pyramid. So I will have to come to the 3D graphics and then I can click somewhere outside of this menu in order to change the tool menu. So I click outside and then my tool menu changes. So I have the 3D shape here in the tool menu. So I click on the 3D shape and then I come down to where it says extrude to pyramid, because I want to try and create a pyramid. So I will have to click on this one and then I will come to the 3D graphics where I have the square base, and then I'll click on that one and then it gives me this dialog box where it says altitude, that is height of this pyramid that I want to create. So I want my height to be 5. I can type 5 there and I click OK, and as you can see I create my my pyramid, the square based pyramid. So if I want this one not to be seen on this particular location on the 3D graphics, then I can simply click on the axis and I will try to move it around and so it can be seen clearly in any location on the 3D graphics window. Maybe here it looks good, a little bit further out, or I think maybe here it looks good. I can let it stay there, and then I want to, as soon as I have the solid drawn, which is the pyramid, square based pyramid has been drawn already. Now I want to see the number of nets that are being enclosed together to form this particular three-dimensional shape, which is square based pyramid. So in order to see my nets or draw my nets, I will have to come back to the menu again and go to the same toolbar, come to the same menu. I'll click on that one, and then it gives me this dialog box. I will have to come down to where it says nets. So now I'll click on the nets, and then I'll come back to the pyramid. I'll click on that one, and it automatically gives me the net now. So now I have seen that the net's a little bit big, so I can make it a little bit small, like this. I can move this one a little bit further down, make it a little bit small, so I can be able to see the nets clearly. I think this looks good. This looks good. Now I can see the nets clearly. Okay, so this is the three-dimensional representation of the pyramid, and these are the nets that are going to be enclosed together to form this three-dimensional shape. And in order for me to count the number of nets now, because it is the same color, I have to change colors of each of the nets so that it is going to be easier for me or for the little children to be able to count the number of nets that are being enclosed to form this particular shape here, which is the pyramid. So I will have to click on one net first, and then I go to the toolbar. I get this menu, that's a color menu, so I click on that one, I get the blue color. It automatically appears here, so I can darken it. And then the other net, I want to get this color. Can make it a little bit dark. This net, I want to get another color. So I can get more color, more different colors. Darken it. Then now I have colored all the nets, and you can actually count the number of nets that are all being enclosed to form this particular pyramid here. So this is 1, it's 2, 3, 4, and then the base one, it's 5. So 5 nets are being enclosed to form this square-based pyramid. So if my square-based pyramid is not shown clearly on the three-dimensional graphics window, then I can click on the axis. I can click on the axis and then try to move it around. All right, I can slowly move it around so that it is clearly seen. All right, it can be clearly viewed from all angles. My three-dimensional shape can be seen clearly. I think it looks better here. I can keep it here, and then in order for you to see, you can click on the slider, and you will have to move the slider and see how the shape is enclosed. So after enclosing the shape, when it becomes a pyramid, you can as well move from the axis and then try to put it in a particular location that you can be able to see it clearly, maybe here or here, over there. You want it to continuously enclose or open, then you can click on the slider. You get this dialog box. you can come down to animations. You click on animation, and then it will be opening the three-dimensional shape, or the square-based pyramid will open, and then it will enclose, so that you can be able to see, the students can be able to see how the shape is being enclosed. So, or it can be open up, or it can be enclosed. And if you want to stop it, you can right click on the slider, you come down to animation, you click on that one, and it automatically stops. So you can move it by clicking it, opening and closing the nets. So when you close it, it looks something similar to this one. And that is how you can be able to create three-dimensional shape, which is in this case the pyramid, which is going to be the square-based pyramid. We have created the pyramid already. Now the steps and the ideas will still be the same to create the prism. So let's try how we can be able to create a prism just like the pyramid. So same thing, we come to the top. Here we click here, we get this menu, we click on this one just like what we did earlier. We come down, we click on 3D graphics, and then we already have the 3D graphics just like what we did for the pyramid. So we have to move this one further a little bit in, just to make sure they are in line with the 3D graphics and GeoGebra classic graphics. So now we go to the tool menu, and we click on this menu. It gives us this dialog box. Instead of this polygon, now we would want to create a prism, so we will have to click on this one, this polygon. It becomes the base of the prism. I will click on this one, and then I will drag my geyser into this window, and then I will have to plot a point. Click on this point, and then I will click on the 2 points, and it gives me this dialog box, and it is asking for the number of sides a polygon will a prism or polygon will have. So for this case, I want to create hexagonal based prism, so I will have to type in number 6 because hexagon has 6 sides. Click OK, and that gives me the hexagon already has 6 sides. And that is the base of the prism that we would want to create. So automatically it appears on the 3D graphics as well. I now want to create the actual prism, so I will have to click outside of the 3D graphics menu, and it gives me on the toolbar. I got this menu, and then I click on this menu here, and it gives me this down arrow. So for the pyramid, we extrude to pyramid, but this time we would want to create the prism. So that is why I will have to come down to click on this one, and then I will take my cursor back to the 3D graphics. I'll click on this one, and then it gives me this dialog box. It is asking for the height of the prism. So this time I want my height to be 6, and then I click OK. So it gives me this prism. so I can make it a little bit small just for me to see it clearly. So this is the prism, but I'm not happy where the prism sits, so I can play around with it by clicking the edges, and then I can move it a little bit further out or down. I can click drag from the edges and then axis, and then I can see where it's supposed to be. I think I'm satisfied here. Let me put the prism here. Okay, now it sits nicely that I can be able to see my prism clearly. Okay, after that, now I want to create the nets of this particular prism, so I will have to go back to the same tool menu. I click on the same menu. I will come all the way down, this time to HH nets. Click on the net, and then I take my drag my cursor back to the prism and on the 3D graphics, and I'll click on it. It gives me the nets now. As you can see, the nets are shown automatically on the GeoGebra classic graphic window and 3D graphics window, but this is big. I can make it a little bit small just for me to see it clearly, like this, and I can move my down, put it somewhere in here, slider down, put it somewhere in here so that it will be easier for me. Okay, I can move this one a little bit further down too. If I want my slider to go back to its original location here, and I will move this further a little bit down, and this one a little bit in. Okay, it looks good. I can continuously move this one to make sure it sits comfortably so it can be clear. It looks good now. Okay, now these are the nets, the number of nets, but for me to see this really and to count them, I need to color them. Click on this one, get this color menu, click on that one, make this one blue. I can darken it, get another color here. I can do the same for all the nets, so that it is easier for me to count the number of nets which are being enclosed together to form the prism. So it will be much easier for me to actually count the number of nets which are being enclosed to form the prism. Okay, I can close this one, and this one is a little bit dark, so it is not seen clearly, so I can do the same. I think it looks good now. It looks good with the nets. Okay, now I can easily count the number of the nets that are being enclosed to form this particular prism. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So there are 8 nets which are being enclosed to form a prism that is hexagonal, the hexagonal base or hexagonal prism. Yeah, because the base is an hexagon polygon that has 6 sides. It's an hexagon, so the number of nets are 8. So 8 nets are being enclosed to form this particular prism, which is an hexagonal based prism. So I can move the slider just to see the nets being enclosed, and this is the prism. And then I can open, I can close, and then I can open the nets to see the nets. On the right hand side is the nets, and on the left hand side is the three-dimensional representation of the prism. So I can continuously, or I can right click on the slider, I come down to animation, and then it automatically encloses itself to form the prism, and it'll open. So if I don't want to continuously click on the slider to see, so it can be done by itself. Then I can right click on the slider, come down, and then I can click to stop it. I can close it like this. Alright. This is how we can be able to create the pyramid and a prism. Thank you.